Hey guys, King of Charmanders here. Alright, so today we're analyzing something that's extremely weird. No, seriously. Okay, so for one, I don't know why it doesn't have the little like ice cube and everything like that. Welcome to the kind of cloud, massive melons, snowy Castform thingy. Yeah, it's a freaking Castform, okay? So the interesting thing about snowy Castform, it's actually really good for the Holiday Cup. And wow, these things, those are quite large. Okay, I'm gonna stop finessing or hyping up snow. This is regular Castform. This is not snowy Castform. Snowy Castform is a lot more cloudy. Anyway, snowy Castform, however, it's actually really good. So the thing about snowy Castform, it maxes out near 1500. It has equally high attack and defense, and it has high stamina. So it's really bulky because it actually maxes out pretty high in the Holiday Cup. Now, I was really unsure why Pure Ice is so good, because here's the thing about Pure Ice. For Pure Ice, you have 4 weaknesses, only 1 resistance. You are weak to fighting, you are weak to fire, you are weak to rock, and you are weak to steel. And you only resist ice. You literally have 4 weaknesses for 1 resistance. By the way, it's the same exact type as you. And what makes Snowy Castform even more interesting for the fact that it ranks really high in the Holiday Cup is it only has Ice-type moves. I mean, I guess you could see Tackle, but if you have Tackle, it's useless. Powder Snow generates energy quickly, that's why Snowy Castform is so good. If you've seen in other mons like Obama Snow or Frostless, they do a lot of damage because it was buffed, and they generate energy quickly, and they will bury you into a... Have you ever been in a snowstorm? Well, guess what Snowy Castform is? It's a literal snowstorm. It has Blizzard, Weather Ball, Ice Beam. It's all ice. Other than the weak... I don't know why you don't have Tackle, but it's literally ice. But the energy generation from Powder Snow allows you to get Weather Ball quickly. It's basically like a... I would compare it to like an Obama Snow without an Energy Ball. Or without like the double Fire type weakness. In other words, it's just really interesting. So, we're gonna look at Snowy Castform for the Holiday Cup. And why is it so... Why is something like this so godforsakenly powerful? Alright, here's the Poke.com rankings. Now, as you see here, we have Snowy Castform at number 6. Yeah, I don't even have to scroll down. That's how good it is. But why? Why is it so powerful? It's one of the best leads and closers in the Holiday Cup. It's also pretty decent as a switch. Not like the greatest thing since sliced snowman, but you know what? It does pretty well. And it's also a very powerful charger. So, why is it so strong? So, the thing about Snowy Castform, you beat Skarmory, Altaria, Stunfisk, Wigglytuff, Diggersby. So you beat all the ground types. You also destroy Altaria because Ice type is double, like Dragon and Flying is double weak to Ice. You also beat Skarmory and Wigglytuff. So you beat some Charmers. Here's the weird thing. Well, obviously you're going to lose against the Pseudo Fighters. You're also going to lose against Alolan Graveler. And guess what? The thing that makes Snowy Castform interesting, if someone runs Dugong, guess what? It resists, it literally walls you. It like walls you because you have no answer. It double resists your Powder Snows, your Weather Balls, Blizzards, and Ice Beams. And Alolan Marowak also beats you. Again, you have 4 weaknesses, and being a pure Ice type with 0 coverage, why is it a top 10 pick? We're about to find out why. As you see, Snowy Castform does rank very highly in like 2 positions, so it's highly in the lead and the closer. As you see here, if we scroll down, Snowy Castform let's go up here. Snowy Castform is the number 15 lead in the game, beating, as I mentioned before, the ground types, Altaria and Stunfisk. As the closer, it actually is the number 7 closer, so it's pretty high ranked, taking out both. Oh, you can actually beat your weak... So you actually can beat the Pseudo Fighters in the closer. And Wow, that's actually really interesting. So you're actually able to take out its weaknesses in the closer. I'm guessing Blizzard does heavy damage. But as you see, very powerful, very interesting mon. So I can see why it's a top pick for the Holiday Cup. Now, obviously, you don't want to use it as a switch. On the switch is a switch is its worst position. Despite that, it's at 43, taking out Skarmory, Altaria, Obstagoon, Stunfisk, and Alolan Graveler. As a charger, it's actually one of the top chargers in the game, ranking at, I'm guessing, number 7? Yep, it's number 7. So lucky number 7 for Castform. Charging, it outpaces a lot of the meta. Well, most Weather Ball ones do, but it actually outclasses like things like Obama Snow, etc. As you see, Obama Snow is actually number 12 for a charger, despite the fact... It might be because of Castform's bulk. That could be a good reason why, but why is it so powerful for the Holiday Cup? Let's see what happens on the mate. Alright, here we go. We're at peeppoke.com. Again, if you'd like to jump into this website, please do so. Now, the thing about Snowy Globe Castform thingy that didn't have the right sprite in the GoHub analysis, don't get fancy with it. Tackle is worthless. You don't want to use Ice Beam because Weather Ball is a better... Weather Ball is... Ice Beam is... Okay. Weather Ball's less energy than Ice Beam. Better move. Blizzard is a finishing move, and literally what makes it number 6 is a pure ice. This is literally the first mon I've seen that is just this powerful, being a pure ice type. So as you see here, we have the 2 shield, we have battle, and this is what we get. You beat Obama Snow and Altaria, which is really, well, I'm not surprised because you resist Obama Snow, but at the same time, why do you beat Bama? Because I think it's because you're thicker than Bama. So thick globe thingy is actually able to outpace Bama. Oh, you literally, wow. Yeah, you Weather Ball to death. Yeah, you literally just Weather Ball each other to death. How many seconds does this take? Wow, it takes an entire minute for this match to actually go off. That's really funny. So after an entire minute, you'll beat a Bomb Stone to 2 shield. You obviously destroy Altara because it's double weak to ice. Dugong does beat you just because it does resist. I'm assuming Lapras does as well. Yes, it does. So Lapras and Dugong, basically both of the water types will do a lot against you because it double resists you. You beat the ground types, you beat the flyers, you also beat Frostless. I guess, what if... So, that's a close rating. So, in the 2 shield, do you go straight Weather Ball? Weather Ball, Weather Ball, Weather Ball. Oh, this is a bait-dependent matchup, I think. Because if you shield... Yeah, it's a bait-dependent matchup. Because if you shield the Shadow Ball, or if they shield your Blizzard, that's GG. So, this is a very close match. You have to bait. You have to call the Weather Ball bait, and you can't eat a Shadow Ball basically. So if they do land that Shadow, if you do shield the Shadow Ball, you're fine. But you have to be very careful because that's really close. You beat Galvan. You lose against Galvantula just because it's able, even though you do get Powder Snow, etc. Those lunges suck. Alolan Graveler is able to Rock Blast you to death, and the reason why you lose against Lantern and Lapras is because they do resist your Ice typing. Same thing with Magnezone. Because it does resist your Powder Snows, etc., you don't stand a chance. You do beat Mandibuzz, however, because Flying is weak to Ice. You also get destroyed against Alolan Marowak. Also, Obstagoon and Sandslash is good against you because it double resists you. It Steel and Ice resists. Ice. Yeah. So, you know, Ice doesn't equal baby when you fight Alolan Sandslash. You do beat, however, Snorlax Stunfisk because ground is weak to ice. You also beat Snorlax. I'm guessing Snorlax isn't able to out-thick you. And you're able to beat Skarmory. So those Weather Balls hurt a lot. You lose against Talonflame, Vigoroth, Whimsicott, and Wigglytuff. So as a lead, Castform is kind of interesting. Overall, it does really well against the meta. But as you see here, you lose against a lot of things. In the 2 shield, I'm guessing the 1 shield scenario is a lot better than the 2 shield scenario. However, you do beat some very relevant meta picks. Not a lot though. Not a lot as I've seen others. So that's the 2 shield. Here's the 1 shield. I'm guessing the 1 shield's a better arena. So you beat Abomasnow, Altaria in the 1 shield. Diggers beat Driplim. You lose against Frostless in the 1 shield because Frostless is able to, I think this is bait dependent too. You have to bait in the Weather Ball or bait Blizzard. Let's see how it works. So if you look at the rating, as you see here, okay, so Weather Ball, Weather Ball, Weather Ball. Okay, okay, you lose just straight Avalanche. Yeah, you literally lose just straight Avalanche. So that's not a good matchup. That's not a good matchup. You also lose against Galvantula. Basically, everything you lose against before in the 2 shield. So in the 1 shield, you pick up the Talonflame matchup and you pick up the Chargers. So in the 2 shield, it doesn't look like Snowy Castform is good, but in the 1 shield, it does flip a lot of relevant meta matchups. However, you still lose against Obstagoon and Vigoroth. I think in the closer is where you're able to take both of them out. So let's see. In the closer, if we go to the closer, what happens? You go to the closer. If you go to closer, yeah, so it looks like that's kind of bad, though. So you beat everything else, and you lose against everything else. You're still going to lose against Frostless. You beat Galvantula in the closer, which is a good one. You beat Galvantula, and you also beat both of the Pseudo Fighters. Those are basically the only matches you've lit, and the Charmers. You still lose against everything else. So it's a good description. You still lose against the Fire types. You still lose against Sand types. You'll lose against Skarmory in the closer without shields. So it looks like Skarmory without shields in the closer is able to burb you to death. You still lose against the water, and you still lose against the steel types. So it's a very interesting mon. I think you beat enough of the big meta for it to rank really high, but I'm just really weirded out at how, like, Castform really performs. Because in the ones and the zeros, you beat the Charmers. The zeros, you beat the Pseudo Fighters, but you still lose. There's a lot of wall potential that you can run into in the Holiday Cup. So it's still really interesting. But we haven't looked at all the scenarios yet. So it's looking good, but, like, it's still really interesting. In my opinion. Still very interesting. Alright, so what happens if we get shield advantage? As in, if you get shield advantage. Because here's the thing, like, Castform's looking promising. It's just the pure ice typing. You literally have zero coverage against a lot of things. You basically win against the same matches, but you lose against the same matchup. There's a lot of things you can get walled against. So let's see. In the 1-0s, what do you flip? So in the 1-0s, you guarantee. So you actually beat a Alolan Graveler. In the 1-0s, you can beat a Alolan Graveler. I'm guessing it's because either you Blizzard it to death? Because you block the Rock Blast. Does it Blizzard actually like KO you? Oh, so double Weather Ball. So it's double Weather Ball takes out Graveler. In the 1-0s, you beat it. In the 1-0s, you convincingly beat Frostless. You will still lose against Lapras and Lantern and Dugong. You beat the Pseudo Fighters, and you beat Talonflame. So you beat everything in the meta in the 1-0s except Fire, double, like, Water and Ice, Alolan Marowak, and Alolan Sandslash. So it's good. It's good, but it's not great. So in the 2-0s, you still lose against Lapras. So you still lose against the water ice types, as in Dugong and Lapras, the hybrids. You also lose against Alolan Marowak and Alolan Sandslash. So those are 4 Pokemon that you essentially get walled against, even in the 2-0. So if you look at these links, you get walled by A-Slash. A-Slash walls you because of that double. So you get walled against. That's kind of bad. Even Alolan, just getting walled against Alolan Marowak alone is just really bad for the Holiday Cup. It's just really bad. Yeah, it's just really bad. If you look at the rating, it looks like, yeah, you just get completely walled. I think Snowy Castform rates the highest because of its matchups against a majority of the meta, but in reality, it's actually not that great. Alright, in the 2-1s, can you show me some promise? Okay, so the 2-1s is basically like every other matchup, but you will only lose against what you get walled against. So with shield advantage, you only lose against, oh, that sounds so bad. I have never seen a Pokemon that literally gets walled by four specific Pokemon. I guess it's good if you could take those out. Because in the 2-1s, as you see, Castform is actually powerful against a majority, against practically the entire meta, as long as you have shield advantage. So if you take out its weaknesses, then there's probably a strat where you could actually take out. You put Castform in the back, you put something in the front that takes out both Alolan Marowak. So you take out its hard counters, or 2 things that are strong, its hard counters, and then you put Castform in the back. Because with shield advantage, Castform does really well. And when the 2-1s, as you see, it has very strong ratings against a majority of the meta. Except for, like, Talonflame. For some reason, in the 2-1s, you still die a lot. But you still get walled by 4 matchups. So, it's still very interesting. I can see why it's good because it generates energy quickly. However, if you make comparison for, like, I think Obama Snow gives you more of a chance just because of the energy ball. So, whether Snowy Castform really is really interesting. It's good, but it's good, and it can be, the keyword is it can be really good, but the scenarios are way too specific. 7 out of 10. I would give it a higher rating. The problem with Snowy Castform is you get walled against 4 Mons. That's bad. Yes, those 4 Mons can get covered by your 2 back row, but it's just, I don't see the benefit to, like, having a Mon that's literally, if you literally see, like, a Dugong, you know you have to kill that Dugong. Or Marowak. Marowak can be very popular in this meta. And the double ice hybrid, the ice water hybrids, as in Lapras and Dugong, they are bad. Like, I can see them being used. So, because of them running around, I just can't give them a high rate. However, if you look at this is what makes it really interesting. It's not completely horrible. As you see here in the lead, you actually win 80% of your matchups, which is more than a lot of other average leads. If you see here, what you lose against are Fire, fire typings, of course, ice types that double wall you, and ice types, and rock, and steel. So basically, whatever resists you or you're weak against, this is what happens. The other issue about Castform is you are susceptible to Charmers. So Wigglytuff can give you a hard time. If you see a Wigglytuff, it's going to do some heavy damage because it beats you in the 2 shield. You win in the 1 and the 0s. The good thing about Snowy Castform, it's able to flip the counter matchups. So against like Obstagoon, Vigor, you can flip it in the 1 and the 0. So as long as you don't have 2 shields or you have shield advantage, you can beat the pseudo fighters. You can also beat, if you're in the 2-0s, you can also beat, I mean, not in 2 shields. If you have shield advantage, you can also beat things like Talonflame, etc. So you can flip your weaknesses depending on shield scenarios. However, you get walled against A-Slash, you get walled against the Low Marowak, and you get walled against both of the Ice-Water hybrids. So because of that, I just can't give it that much of a higher. Is it very strong? Absolutely. In the 2 shield, if you can keep it, if you are lucky enough to get a match that doesn't have a Dugong and a Alolan Marowak, or any of the 4 I mentioned, or if you could take out a Alolan Marowak, it can go to town. As you see here in the 1 shield, very powerful. In the 2 shield, it's powerful. In even shield scenarios, it's very strong. Because of its bulk combined with its pressure, it's very powerful in most scenarios, especially if you give it shield. So it's not a horrible mon. The issue is like I mentioned, it does lose. See, you're in the 1 to 0s, the only thing you lose against are fire, the double ice, like I mentioned. You literally lose against only the hybrids and this. So you can have a strategy where you have 2 mons that take out, for example, like Obstagoon and Vigoroth, take those shields, give your shields to Snowy Castform, and as long as you take out either the Alolan Marowak, or if they're running like a hybrid, take out its weaknesses. As you see, Snowy Castform runs freely pretty well in this meta. That's a good thing. That's why I can't give it a lower than a 7. The only reason it's so low is just because Alolan Marowak I can see having play, and you never know when you see those pseudo hybrids out there that they can actually give you a hard time. As you see here, in the 2 to 0s, the only 4 Pokemon you will lose, or 8 Pokemon actually, you lose against are double ice, and as you see, fire, double ice, and water. And yeah, it's very like it's a very good mon. You see, it's 80%. It's 80% or above in all other scenarios. It's just like I mentioned, Alolan Marowak is a huge threat, but like I said, if you could take out those 4 Pokemon, you're looking pretty good with Snowy Castform. If Snowy Castform has energy, if it has shields, it does really well in the Holiday Cup. I just can't rate it very highly just because my personal, I can't like that. If on hindsight, if it wasn't for the fact that Alolan Marowak can be popular and you won't have, and I can definitely see Dugong and Lapras having play. Those are they're strong in the Holiday Cup. Snowy Castform's got some. Snowy Castform is a monster. If you could take those out. If you guys like this video, please like and subscribe. Again, Snowy Castform is really good for the Holiday Cup. Just you have to do a specific strategy, and you have to make sure you have countermeasures for its weaknesses. Good luck on your go battle success, and I'll see you guys on the next video.